on Instagram. So anyone that's just come over from Instagram, welcome. This is my husband, Mark, in case you've never met him. And we do coffee moaning every day at different times of days. Well,
Toffee. Pulling, which means in the trade that she wants attention on her.
So that's Toffee and Chi-Chi are already here. Now, I was just chatting over on Instagram about the fucking Neighbours.
I used to work on a series years ago called Neighbours at War. We did Classrooms at War, do you remember? We filmed Renata Williams. We did Countryside at War, where we did the Ramblers of Clee. And we did Neighbours at War, where people growing Leylandi would almost shoot each other because of the growth of great big trees.
Now, yeah, exactly.
So Neighbours from hell.
And I'm sure everybody is feeling very much at the moment has got neighbour issues, because everybody, when the sun comes out, it's a bit warm, understandably, people go into their garden and want to do things with their garden. But we're mindful of it.
Some people want to go in their garden and just do things.
Yes.
Not even in their garden.
So say we could hear, like our people at the end there, we're having a chinky. They've obviously got people in the garden, they're eating, they're drinking. We wouldn't get our strimmer out. We wouldn't do it. We'd say, oh, look, they're having a party. But nobody else seems to care. Like, we've had somebody drilling concrete over there. We've had the strimmer going now for an hour in a car park, which we can't work out. That's a block of flats.
There's nothing to strim.
But somebody over on Instagram was just saying her neighbour whistles. And what can... Oh, don't.
Let's go back to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
It's plugged in. We don't know what to do. It keeps buffering. My whistling.
Mark's whistling.
Yeah, sorry guys.
So come on, what does your neighbour do that drives you up the bloody wall? Come on. What do they do? Come on, just release it here with us. We were watching a film last night. I had to bail out. I didn't fancy it.
We were watching a film called Unhinged.
And when he just goes completely crazy and just like kills everybody. But that's what gardening nightmares can do to a person. Yeah. I mean,
now,
there's no thought that we could have breakfast out.
No, can I just say though, we're very privileged because we're a detached house. Now, in all of our lives, we've all lived in different accommodations. I've lived in flats.
Me too.
I've lived in high rises.
I've lived in basements. I lived on
I've lived in terraces.
20th floor.
So we've had our fair share of neighbours, and we're very lucky in that one of our set of neighbours is your mum, and at the end of our garden, we've got a set of neighbours who are possibly the most fucking happiest people in the world.
And they drive Mark mad.
Oh my God, if I have to hear them laughing and chinking glasses and jumping into an imaginary pool and it's just so frustrating. I'm happy for them. I just can't access that happiness.
Morning, Marie Swift. She's giving lots of wage. Anybody new?
Marie
Is this
Swift.
anybody's first time with us? Please make yourself known. Go outside and sing, says JP Vintage Candles.
That'll drive everyone away.
Louise Healy, my neighbour's garden is a mess and doesn't take the bins out.
Wow.
Well,
our front garden's a mess.
We were like that for ages. Our garden was an absolute shit.
Look at it now. It's an
nice
oasis. It's like an Eden. Check out Green-Fingered Hell if you want to see how me and Nanny Di get.
Barking dog, says Emma Louise. Very good point. Oh, look, smoking weed. We've got a neighbour that does that.
Yes.
Smoke weeds, always arguing, playing music too loud. Jenny Matthews, we feel your pain.
There's one corner of our garden where it's so whiffy of the old weedy woo-bar that when you stand there going to do some weeding, you come up for air and you've forgotten what the hell you're doing. You literally like that.
We did have a bonfire a few weeks ago, like half a day. Hi Janine Amory and Lorraine Smith. If you're new, welcome. Hit the subscribe button, Janine and Lorraine, and the notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means you won't ever miss any lives. My neighbour has arguments. Well, at least we don't have that.
No, we have
they go
arguments.
into the garden to have an argument. Bailey, one of the neighbours has a motorbike. Oh no! And it's constantly revving at his driveway. Quite annoying. Bailey, one of the flats I lived in, there was somebody like that was always revving and doing things with his motorbike. So you would get the fumes as well. Oh my God, it's so
This is a good one. Stacey Randall, good morning. Morning, Stacey. My neighbour has just replaced the hedge with a little fence, and now all I get is her 8-year-old girl staring at me over the fence.
Oh no.
They're sweet, but they can talk for England. Now,
can
I just say, you've opened a can of worms, which is a different can of worms. There's one thing having neighbours from hell. There's something else having extraordinarily friendly neighbours that you haven't got time for.
That's what I couldn't stand.
That is tough. That is tough.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be rude, but equally, you've got to get on.
Oh, God.
Very, very tough. Years and years ago, when me and Izzy's
That'd
mum
be
lived in a
so
terraced
annoying.
house, our neighbour, Elsie, she was so sweet. She was 92 when we moved in, and she'd been born in our terrace's front living room. So she had a connection with our house. She was like, I've been born in that room. And she was so sweet, and I felt so bad, because of course every time I went into the back garden, she wanted to talk, and it took hours and hours and hours. And you can't say no.
No, because you feel bad.
can't, no.
But an annoying 8-year-old, hello, and why do you here? And what are the worms? Because then you're kind of babysitting,
Yeah,
aren't you? Which is
yeah.
really annoying. And on that note, Mandy Dennis is a nana for the first time 7 weeks
Wow.
early. Oh, congratulations,
Congratulations.
Mandy. Oh,
Well
that's
done.
so lovely.
That's great news.
Babies just keep being born no matter what's going on in this batshit crazy world.
Yeah. Dodo Dixon, have to say my neighbours are great. We all get on well and look out for each other and share gardening tips.
That would be a bit annoying.
That would really get to me after a while.
I've
Have
one
you-
neighbour who talks to me constantly, even texts me now. I can't hang out washing without her running out to chat, Leanne. Oh my God. Okay, we're going to stop moaning now because at least we don't get that.
That's harsh. That's difficult.
That's harsh. Good morning, Sandra Baker, a new visitor. Hit the subscribe button, honey, and the notification bell. We're here every day. Ian Lunt, strimmers in Oz are called whippersnippers.
Whippersnippers.
Whippersnippers. Oh, I love that.
Get the whippersnipper out. That's what I'm going to call mine. I'm going to get my whippersnipper out.
Right, from now on, it's a whippersnipper.
And do you know what the other thing is that I get out now and then? A whopper chopper. Leslie Misen. Hello, lovelies and newbie. So
Hello,
lovely to
Leslie.
see you both. I have the noisiest neighbours ever watching me in the garden from their bathroom. Stalkerish, scared, watching me
Oh,
from their bathroom
Leslie.
window. That's odd, from a
Oh,
bathroom
sweetie,
window.
that's
What, just like
awful.
this? Just like standing there like that?
Oh, God. Oh, my God. And listen,
really
listen
dark.
to Lucy Williams. Listen to this. I have a neighbour that sends her children out first thing each day in summer, and they deliver me flowers approximately 45 times an hour, scrunched up daisy chains, etc. Oh, no. And every time you have to go, oh, lovely, thank you. And because you've set that, you now have to keep doing it every time. Oh, my God, these are really good. These are much... Do you know what? I'm really sorry to say this, but you've all made me feel better.
Yeah. And Anne Murray says a strimmer in America is called a weed whacker.
Is it?
I love
Can we
that.
write this down?
Weed-
A strimmer snipper. No, a whipper. What was it?
A whippersnipper.
A whippersnipper.
And a weed
whacker. Living English Paris. My mum has got a neighbour whose garden is full of crap from the tip, and he's been building sheds for at least 5 years. It looks like a shanty town. Oh, no.
So I don't, to be honest with you, if someone has a really shambolic garden, that's their choice. It's not invading your actual privacy. I mean, it
Wow,
might be
it's a bit of an eyesore.
But it might be an eyesore. But, we all do have to live alongside each other in some way, and we have to respect difference. Years ago, when I did Neighbours at War, we were filming in Sidmouth, and the Sidmouth Britain in Bloom contingent mounted a campaign against Dr. Wozniak, who had a garden that he refused to tame. Because his idea was
remember
that
that.
chrysanthemums are as artificial as putting plastic flowers up, and he didn't want a wild garden, he just couldn't be asked to do his garden. But we interviewed him, and this was back in the day when you could do these kind of documentaries, and we interviewed him in the middle of all the long grass, and you couldn't see him. We could just see him as an eye, and he just sat there going, I think the Sidmouth Britain in Bloom people need to go and take a running jump into the ocean.
Living English Paris says, Mark, it's the noise because he's been building sheds for 5 years.
Oh, well, that's fucking annoying.
He's building a shanty town.
I'll tell you what to do. Record yourself whistling an annoying tune and then play it out the window constantly.
I'm whistling a happy tune and no one will suspect I'm afraid. You could sing that.
I think we're going to carry on
Morning,
there.
Jacqueline Frost. Morning, Anna Kite. Morning, Bobby Ward. Dodo Dixon. Mark the things you had growing in your lawn.
The things you had growing in your lawn, you said were ash. Look up Bradford pear. It's an invasive. No, we know what it is. It's the tree stump that's been cut in the bed.
Hello, Nicola Randall. How are you? Hello, Olias. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, guys. Right, shall we move on? I think we should talk more about Neighbours.
Oh, Neighbours.
another
Neighbours
day.
from Hell is just a great,
I
big,
love
huge,
this.
juicy, comfy subject.
And it's good for us all to get it off our chest, isn't it? Because it can drive us mad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dawn Claricote, my neighbour where I lived in Bridlington was creepy as hell because we shared a car park. She thought we lived in a commune and wanted to do everything together.
Look, there's something about...
Dawn, that's awful.
But there is something about that that's quite sad, really, because I think a lot of lonely people look for a connection with their neighbours, don't they? I mean, and at the same time, you know, a sense of community is a lovely thing.
Yeah, but you have to respect people's space, don't
Yeah, but
you?
I want a sense of community, but I want everyone to leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't want to get into great long conversations about whether I should be doing... I do with you guys.
The
but not in my
Americans do
garden,
it very
you know
well.
what I mean?
When I was living in Boston when I was 17, you know, it was a big street. Everyone had detached houses, but they were a community of neighbours. So they would get together on a Sunday, people would have barbecues and play football, and it just worked. But nobody was like in each other's face the whole
Anne
time.
Murray just said, do you invite the neighbours round? Well, we do invite the neighbours on that side round because they're Nadia's parents.
No, we've got a block of flats that
No, we
side.
don't
There's
invite the parents
tons of them. Faith Goodman, Nadia, you should go outside and sing to them when you hear them outside, just sitting, not strimming.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. Yeah, you should destroy them. I mean, look, the reason
Thank
we're
you,
talking
Faith.
about Neighbours from Hell is obviously we did a live last night in response to Boris Johnson's press conference. And I've just been out in the car and listening to LBC. Most of the chatter out there at the moment, to be fair, is how are we going to learn to live with the virus? And really, lots of people furious about the fact that they've extended lockdown. And
Aaron, do your neighbours watch these lives?
yeah, no, well, that'd be intriguing, wouldn't it?
know.
Yeah, that's a good point. So those are the two stories. There's virtually no news of any real note today, other than, you know, reflections on our extension. So what are your thoughts on it all, guys? After last night, have you had time to reflect on it and time to think about it? Are you pleased? Are you horrified? One thing I did want to say was, I hope Andrew Lloyd Webber doesn't get special treatment and every other theatre company doesn't.
I have to say it was very odd when Boris, I think we're trying to sort something for Lloyd Webber. It was like
my
Lord
mate.
Webber, because it was like the Lord. Oh, the Lord, you
Yeah.
can't say that.
No.
And it goes back to what I was saying yesterday on Loose Women. He just doesn't know how to talk to people. He doesn't understand how to communicate people. I mean, the problem was when he said, you know, 21st will be the earliest that we lift lockdown. He didn't kick that to the back of the net enough. If I'd been him, I would have said, at the very, 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 very earliest, the 21st of June, it's unlikely, but that's what we're hoping for. So I would very strongly advise people not to book weddings within July, and I would say that.
Yeah.
But if people hear what they desperately need to hear, because people are so fed up, and they'll go the 21st. I mean, people have been booking parties for the 22nd, you know.
Yeah.
And I still don't think he understands that.
No, Zoe Agnew says I don't really understand why. I don't really understand why we have to continue for another 4 weeks. What difference will it make unless the government knows something we don't?
Well, I think they did explain it quite well in that another 4 weeks, the over 50. We'll take Mark for example. He'll have had his second vaccine
By Thursday.
By Thursday. And it's very important that you have your second vaccine because you've only got 30% coverage with the first one. And also, from today, they're vaccinating 24-year-olds and up. So most people in 4 weeks that have any chance of becoming ill with this virus will have at least had one vaccine. Because I was thinking, but we can't get them double vaccinated. But Valence actually said yesterday, just even one vaccine will create a bit of a wall. They're just trying to get a wall around us from this virus.
It's like building a fortress and they just want the battlements to be a little bit higher
Yeah.
at the point that we come out. I think, again, someone mentioned Michael Gove was on GMB, and Michael Gove is doing the rounds, sort of saying, look, you know, unless there's a spectacularly awful development.
Well, like
July-
let people come in from a country where there is a
Absolutely.
raging variant and we can see people
Absolutely.
dying and hospitals overflowing and people desperate for oxygen, like we saw in India. But apparently it wasn't a variant of concern. We should still be annoyed about this.
Leggy Blonde Jen, that though, voices an opinion that I think a lot of people are voicing, and are certainly voicing on LBC this morning, phoning in. Morning, guys, we have to stop conforming to this government. Come July 19th, there will be another reason we can't fully open. They're seeing how far they can control us before anarchy. I mean, I know what you're saying.
I-
I don't know if they're wanting to encourage anarchy, because that would be a sort of self-defeating, wouldn't it? It would ruin the the Conservative Party is called the Conservative Party because they like to conserve. They have a more sort of conservative sense of things. They don't like to, they want to maintain the status quo, a capitalist structure. And, I don't necessarily think that there is a agenda to just keep doubling down. I do think there's a bit of headless chickeniness going on there. And I have to say, I tell you who was on the radio this morning, who I really loved listening to, and it was David Blunkett. Do you remember the Labour Home Secretary? He could be a bit scratchy at times, but he was really good this morning. And like you said, he said, I'm not a COVID denier, I'm not this, I'm not that. We have to learn to live with this. But his major point that I agreed with was, in this 24-hour rolling news environment that we live in, he said, you're always going to get someone, or be able to find someone who's going to say that we need to be in lockdown forever, or this ain't going to change until 2022.
We've got that safe scientist saying we need to be like this forever. And actually, yesterday, Theresa May in the Commons stood up and, Theresa May, and said, we can't stop for this variant, because there's going to be variants. We're going to have COVID-19 forever, and we're going to have variants forever. And if we close up again for this, we don't lift the restrictions, we're going to keep on doing that. If we don't open international travel, we're never going to open international travel. And I thought, she's a very sensible woman, is Theresa. You don't get more sensible than Theresa, do you? Come on, let's face it. Can you think of anyone more sensible than Theresa?
No, sensible isn't quite the word I'd use. She's sensible.
No, but she's a very careful woman.
Yeah.
She will know more than we do. And for her to stand up and make such a strong point in the way she did yesterday really did make me think.
Yeah. I do think the Strimmer
I think he's got 3 now. Can you hear it?
I think he's also watching us and knows he's annoying. Wonder Woman, I just want to read out what you said, because I don't think we're kind of allowing for this kind of expression anymore. I love being in lockdown. Don't want it to end. And I think there are a lot of people who still feel like that.
Hello, Henrietta Hens.
So it's important to sort of hear that there are many, many different perspectives on this. Leggy Blonde Jen, can I ask you honestly, Nadia, remark, will you let Kiki have the vaccine? It's, I'd rather not. But if it's what's needed for the country to pull us out of this strange place, everyone's got to be part of the war effort.
So if they said, listen, just in case she was ever to get it and she could be ill, I would say no, because we know that the chances of her getting really ill from it are minuscule. But if the narrative starts to go along the lines that now everybody of this age is vaccinated, the virus is taking over with young people and mutating to be able to make them sicker, or mutate, not even to make them sicker, but mutating in a way that will come back to us, to the rest of the population, then we'd have to think again. Because this is kind of a case, as you know, I'm not a vaccine person usually, but I am I've had the vaccine because I think it's for the greater good. I'm thinking about the world and not just myself, I suppose.
We were saying last night as well, I mean, I think if they were coupling this 4-week extension, Zoe, I know this would have an impact on you and going home to your family, but if they were to couple this with locking the island of Britain for a further 4 weeks, that would be a sensible approach, I think, because as Rhys Roberts says, it's about there has to be a global vaccination approach. I mean, if you have one kink in the sort of chink in the armour around the world, that's going to be where, unfortunately, this disease is going to run.
I think it's
and
a real
find
shame
it and
nobody
develop.
asked that yesterday. It's a real shame that nobody said, okay, you're asking us, the government is asking us again to wait another 4 weeks. What we need you to do, because a huge portion of society wanted you to stop the Indian variant coming in, and you didn't. We would like now, so that we have this strong wall against the virus, to have 4 weeks of no flights coming in.
Lucy Williams says, what I find scary is that each variant is becoming more transmissible and higher death rates. Well, this is what this virologist was saying many months ago. As soon as you start to block the route of suddenly the original coronavirus looks like quite a friendly, bloody individual, doesn't it? Because then the Kent came and then the Indian came, and you're right. This virus you don't just put up a firewall and the virus goes, boom. What the virus does is it goes, oh, let's go this way, let's go around here, let's go up here, let's go up there. And in order to do that, it obviously has to become more virulent and more dangerous and more invasive and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there's a kind of trade-off that's going to happen here. And this is where I start to where I have my causes for concern. I think this is all in a weird way, this is all shadow play and smoke screen, this chat right now. We all need to be focusing on what is going to happen this autumn and this winter. That's where all our focus needs to be. That's where all the government's focus needs to be, because we might outrun this batch of variants, but more are coming. And I think all of the research, all the booster sort of programs, people being tested on booster kind of, research programs, that's critically where all of our research needs to be, so that this can become something like the flu that we live with every year. Because I think my worry is we're just getting...
I think that's what they're...
If
they've got 3 now,
we all say it blithely that they're going to get there, but I really want to know how they're going to get there. I want to know what the roadmap is for autumn and winter and this Christmas. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
I just want to go around screaming out there and tell them to just stop. They've got 3 fucking streamers going at the same... Listen.
It's quite something, isn't it? It's quite something. Neighbours from
I feel like
Alba.
I'm losing my mind.
Can I just ask...
And look at this, Mark.
Yeah.
Catherine Hamblin. In the US, they're offering lottery prizes for getting jabs. Ethical? Discuss.
Well, Catherine Hamblin, I've also heard in America that they're offering guns.
No!
Some places, some stores that sell guns. You know that you can... There used to be, I don't know if there still is, but there used to be some banks that if you opened an account with them, they'd give you a gun. You get a free gun if you opened a bank account. I think there are certain... Am I right in that, Catherine? There are some cases of, I suppose, a gun store that maybe has a pharmaceutical aspect to it.
Natasha says in Russia they're offering the chance to win a car.
Yeah, they're offering spliff, Wonder Woman says. Oh,
in California, are they?
Okay, yeah.
Gabrielle says Boris can go swimming in the sea and keep going as far as I'm concerned. Stay in from September. That's the message, Henrietta Henson.
I think if there's any... What do people think?
In Singapore, you can win a cap, says Sarah
Win a
Elliott.
cow? Win a cow, did you say? Yeah. A cow? I don't know why. I don't think cows in Singapore. What do you think, guys? Just tell us in a pithy sentence. What do you think is going to happen if, good God forbid, they extend beyond July 19th? What do you think will happen?
I just wanted to answer that question about what I think about the lottery ticket. I think that there's a lot of people, I think, that are maybe... If you feel really strongly about not having the vaccine, then I don't think it would make you. But if you've just got a bit complacent or lazy, or you keep putting off booking it, I suppose it would bring in those people. And it might just, that small percentage that you bring in that way, might just help push up the herd immunity. So I don't think I mind about it, do you?
No, I don't. No,
I don't think it's immoral.
No, Lee here. I'm relieved. Hi, Lee. Hope you're well. Hope you're getting better. I'm relieved. I know I've had COVID now and kind of got it over and done with. Reinfection is incredibly rare, so it's going to be a good summer. I think you're right. I think there's an element of being able to feel, well, I've had that, and you can push on. And you've been vaccinated.
Lee and I will be doing a live on Instagram tonight to celebrate him coming out of quarantine.
Jilly thinks that if there is a potential extension to July 19th, there'll be riots and chaos and there are not enough police to stop everyone. Dawn Claricoats will go batshit crazy. I genuinely think the reason July 19th can't shift again is I do think there would be massive civil unrest. I really do. I think everyone has had enough. Everyone has had enough. And I think we keep saying everyone's had enough. And I think, I just think they will not be able to, even if they needed to. I don't think they'd be able to. Even if there is a bad variant, I don't think they'll be able to.
I know it's a random question, Donna, but I'm perfectly happy to answer it. Donna Pearson, sorry for the random question, but can you use Philadelphia soft cheese to make a cheesecake? Absolutely, but never use light. You have to use the full fat one.
Zoe Agnew says, I think they need to stop giving us dates now. Can we rephrase that? I'd love to be given some dates, the really gooey, lovely Medjool dates. I haven't had a date in absolutely ages. I'm really observing the... Nanny Dice, by the way, said thank you so much for her countless multitudinous birthday messages, as did Betty. So lovely, so very sweet of you all. And I think she had a nice day, didn't she? She was watching stuff, eating gack cake, as she calls it, or you call it. It was a lovely day. So there we go, guys. Later today, we're dropping something on the channel that's a bit different. We're dropping, in tribute to Father's Day coming this Sunday, we're going to be dropping mine and Maddie's tour through funny shit from this Sunday show just gone. And it's really nice because it's a really nice moment of just generically of a dad and a daughter having a bit of a chuckle together. So I thought, ahead of Father's Day, for this Father's Day coming, That's going to land on the channel.
So basically, this is a section in the No Name Sunday show in the members area, and it's a very, very popular part of the No Name Sunday show. So yeah, and it's last week's one, isn't it?
It is last week's one, yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you watch it. Have you hit the notification bell, because then YouTube will notify you when it is up and ready to play. Is it nobody's birthday today? We haven't sung happy birthday to anyone. This is very unusual.
And hit the thumbs up, guys. It's always nice when you do.
Come on, there's 600 of you watching and only 93 of you have hit there. Yeah, 95.
And if you fancy...
Hit the thumbs up just under where my boob is.
If you fancy quite an animated review of a really great film, go and check out my review of Nobody. It's a cracking film. If you're looking for something to watch at the cinema for a cool evening or a cool afternoon, or whenever the moment takes you, then that's a great film to watch. We watched Unhinged last night, which was, I think it was good. A lot of people were telling us how good it was. It's the first time I saw it, Russell Crowe becoming a road rage nutter. I didn't think it was as good as people were saying.
Well, it was definitely good. I had to leave it because I just didn't... Oh, Tracy Welsh is a new family member.
Oh, well, then Nad's going to sing for you.
Did we sing for you?
No.
Tracy? If you're new on here, we've got a members area, and whenever anybody joins there, we sing them a little welcome song, if you're wondering what I'm talking about.
What the hell are you talking about? Oh,
Yeah.
Can I just share this awful story? Did anyone else see this story? This is one story that I just wanted to mention. Did you see that Dumbledore, do you know the lovely arch of Dumbledore in Dorset?
Appledore.
No, Dumbledore.
Isn't it called Appledore?
No, it's called Dumbledore. That's the arch in the sea.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it there.
Beautiful. There's a photo of you lying in front
Yeah,
of it.
I love
Beautiful.
it.
That's a tragic story of a woman fell to her death from it yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she was climbing up the rocks, and then everyone on the beach just saw her fall,
awful.
and she died at the sea. So, guys, if you're going to the coastal resort, Dumbledore.
Dumbledore, that's it.
Dumbledore. Isn't Dumbledore
He's
the
a
guy
mixture
from...
of us.
The guy is the guy
Yeah.
from Harry
Potter.
Yeah, Durdledore, sorry. Yeah, she fell to her death. It was tragic. So please, please, please be careful when you go to the coast and when you play in the sea, and when you're jumping and when you see people just really throwing caution to the wind and jumping off
Be careful.
cliff sides. It's madness.
Helen Flynn, sorry, forgot the thumbs up. We'll let you off
That's
because
all
I was late. No notification today from YouTube.
Right.
Mark Greenfingered Hell was brilliant yesterday.
Oh, thank
if
you.
you missed Greenfingered Hell, Mark put it up yesterday, and it's a real goodie. So make sure you watch that after this.
YouTube is going through all sorts of problems at the moment. I don't know whether it's the heat, but for example, there are notifications for things landing are coming through about 12 hours late. So like Coffee Moaning landed about 2 days ago.
Lots of people saying they didn't get a notification about the
so
live.
notifications simply aren't going out there.
So
I just think
annoying.
there's something sluggish happening with YouTube. Should
okay,
we give someone a
thank you.
call and ask them what the bloody hell's going on?
Yeah, we
'Cause
will.
It's frustrating for you guys because of course you miss it, don't you?
Thank you, Mandy Dennis. Membership is $1.99, says Mandy Dennis, a month. Join NADIA Mark. Yeah, so you get extra content there
Yeah.
for 50p a week, and everybody loves it that is a member.
Now,
there, so.
from next week, not this week, but from next week, we're going to do a little retrieval of me trying to cook something, because it's going to be a bit cooler next week. I've got a little bit more distance from my intense mental breakdown of last week, and which I'm still rumbling through, to be fair. And if I'm really honest, a lot of the cookery lives on the membership in the members area were very tied up with Xander, because he supplied all of the props. And Xander, if you don't know, is one of our subscribers who sadly passed away a week or so ago. So it's going to be I think it's going to be quite an emotional moment, because I'll probably be wearing one of his incredibly tasteless aprons. But yeah.
Look, Courtney C says YouTube cancelled her membership.
Oh God! Well, look,
Well, we'll have a
all
word
I
with
can
YouTube.
say is
YouTube,
talk,
are you listening?
Yeah. Well, we know someone who can have a natter with them, but there are all sorts of weird shenanigans going on. Things slowing down, lives going off, all sorts of things. So, so we do apologise.
And Tasha Paynes cancelled Tasha Paynes too.
Right. Okay, that's weird. Isn't that weird?
We do. We miss Xander. We talk about him all the time. We say it's so odd.
So odd.
So odd.
Yeah. So odd. Well, to be honest with you,
Are you still trying to build an IBMD presence? How do I do that?
Are you still trying? Are you still trying to build an IMDb present? How do I do that? I don't understand.
So
Are you
me.
asking you, or are you asking me? I think if you're building your own, you create an account with IMDb. Anyway, guys, lots of love.
Oh, who we've got to sing a welcome?
Oh yeah, Tracy Welsh.
Welcome Tracy Welsh, welcome Tracy Welsh, welcome Tracy Welsh, welcome Tracy Welsh, welcome Tracy Welsh. Guys, hit the thumbs up for us. If
Oh.
you've enjoyed spending time with us, and we'll see you very soon.
Claire, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Claire.
So
Thank you.
sweet, so sweet. And you've got beautiful, beautiful handwriting, haven't you? Look at that handwriting.
I know,
Just show you
I
there.
saw it. Oh,
Gorgeous,
stunning.
isn't it? Guys, have a lovely day. Stay safe. Don't sweat. Use deodorant. All that weird stuff. Mop your forehead. Whatever it takes.